you.
It's smaller.
Yeah.
So since it's so much smaller, I'll stay out unless you need me to come in and watch from out here. Otherwise, I think we'll end up tripping on each other.
Yeah. Hey, you. Oh. Come on. Good girl. Come on.
At least she's moving, though.
Yeah. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Come on. Good girl. Come on. Good girl. Yep. Come on. Come on.
Go ahead, tap her.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Good girl.
Good. Yeah, huge improvement.
Come on. Nope. There you go.
Remember the
Good
drive
girl.
line. Very nice.
Come on. Good girl. Good girl.
Okay, go ahead and change direction again. And this time, see if you can change direction without getting up quite so close to her. See if you can send her.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Go ahead and tap her on the shoulder.
Come on. Come on. Nope.
Not too bad. Not perfect, but it's getting a lot better than it was. At least she's not shutting down on us.
Yeah.
Okay, change direction again.
There you go. Come on.
Good, that's fine. Like I said, we'd rather have her turning towards us, but right now we're just happy that she's moving.
You're actually not going to get fed if you go that way.
Okay, change again.
Come on.
And send her. Great, good girl.
Good girl. Nope. Nope.
Now make her go back the other way. Don't let her change on you. You pick the direction. Good girl.
Nope.
Don't let her do that.
Come on. Other way. Come on.
Send her.
Come on.
Tap her.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Good girl.
There you go, and send her.
Nope. Other way.
Good girl.
Good girl. Nope. Nope.
And when she goes to turn, snap the whip real good. She needs to know that that's not what we want. And we're not going to let her get away with it.
Come on.
Now make sure you keep yourself and the whip behind the drive line. Don't
Yeah.
point up at her face.
Come on.
So let's get her going once or twice around without her trying to change on us.
Come on.
Don't put the whip in front of her. Keep it behind the drive line.
Nope.
Send her.
Come on. Come on.
Send her. So tap her before you get up to her.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Nope. That way.
There you go.
Good girl.
Okay, so when you put your whip up towards the front of her, she has every reason to believe that you would want her to change direction.
Yeah.
So make sure you're keeping point your whip at her belly or at her hip.
Come on. Good girl.
Very good. Go ahead and change directions. Send energy.
Come on. Come on.
Tap her.
Come on.
Good.
Girl.
Much
No,
better.
other way.
Change again because she cut back the other way. Change direction.
There you go. Good girl. Nope. Come on. Come on. Come on, Dallas. Come on. Come on.
Tap her. Send her.
Come on. Come on. Nope.
Don't let her stall. Send her.
Come on. Good girl. Nope. Come on. Come on. There you go. Nope.
Whichever way you choose to turn her, make her turn that way. Don't let her play back and forth.
Come on. Come on.
There you go.
There you go. Come on, Dallas. Good girl.
Okay, go ahead and change direction again. This time, try to send her.
Good girl.
Yeah, good. She's much better going this way.
Come on. Come on. Nope. Nope.
And when you're ready, change again. Same thing. Send her. Instead of, you shouldn't have to go up to her. There, much better. Okay, go ahead and drop your whip. Take a step back and let her stop and come into you if she wants. Good girl.
Good girl. Hey. That's a good girl. Yeah. Very good girl. Yes. Such a good girl. Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and clip the lead rope onto her. Do you remember the body control exercises I gave you last time?
Yeah, so like backing her up and then turning her.
Getting her to soften to the halter,
Yep.
side to side. Getting her, moving her hind when you press on it with your hand or tap with the whip. And then also moving her front end around. So you should be able to soften her head to the halter and bring her head around without her moving. So stay with her right at her shoulder. You can even grab onto the horn if that helps, but stay right at her shoulder and stay there until she can stop and bring her head around at the same time.
Nope. Come on, you.
Stay with her.
Come on.
And as soon as she stops but has her head turned around, go ahead and release to her.
Nope. Not almost.
And you can encourage her to stop. You can tell her whoa or bump on the
Whoa.
halter a little bit.
Whoa. Come on.
There,
Good
release.
girl. Good girl.
Okay, other side. So don't cluck to her or kiss to her. Remember, what did those mean?
Yeah.
Move.
Whoa.
And right now we don't want her to move. We just want her to tip her head around.
Come on. Whoa. Whoa. Oh.
Good, release.
Good girl.
Good girl.
Good girl.
Okay, go ahead on each side. You can walk her towards the middle a little bit so you don't run into the rail. But on each side, go ahead and move the front.
Okay. Wait, no.
Yeah, there you go.
I was like, what am I doing?
So wave your hands.
Come on.
Up by your eye.
Come on. Come on. Good girl.
Good.
Good girl.
Well done.
Come on. Good girl. Come on. Good girl.
So you need to switch hands. Your hand closest to her head should be waving. Your other hand, don't push on her face, push on her shoulder.
Okay.
So your left hand should be waving towards her eye and your right hand pushing on her shoulder.
Come on. There you go. Come on. There you go. Good girl.
There. Not bad. I'd like to see her crossing over,
Yeah.
but at least she's responding, so we're not going to complain much.
Come on. Good
There
girl.
you go. Good. Well done.
Hey. Hey, you. Come on.
And she's not had a bridle in, correct?
No.
Okay. Go ahead and do your backing up.
Okay. Come on. Come on. Good girl.
Good.
Good girl.
So what do you think about getting on her? You've been on her bareback before,
Yeah.
though, right?
Yeah, I have no problem with it.
So go ahead. Do you have a pair of clip-on reins that we can just clip to the halter for you?
Yeah, and I should get a
So go ahead and grab that in your helmet.
Okay.
Sorry, you're stuck with me. Ooh. Good girl. Good. Ooh. 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 Good.
What are those? What are those? She's like, oh no.
All right, so I'm going to walk a couple steps since I just tightened up her cinch. Good girl. Sorry, you got to stay on the same side. Nope. Sorry. Nope. Ooh. I did not ask you to walk. Ooh. Try again. Ooh. Good. So don't let her change sides on you, especially not behind you. That's part of that holding your boundaries part that we talked about.
Yeah.
Ooh. And if you can correct her like that before she does it, you'll be much more successful than if she comes around to the other side and then you move her back. Good. So when you get on, I'm going to lead her around. So I need to establish my boundaries before you get on. Ooh. Good. Much better. Ooh. Good. Nice job. Okay. Reins. Okay. Have you ever seen a horse started before?
Mm-mm.
That's what we're going to kind of go through a little bit of a dry run. Even though you've been on her before, again, part of this, working with her, is preparing you for your next horse that you train. So I'm going to tip her head towards you, okay? And you're going to bang the stirrup around, put your foot in it, jump up and down, stand up in the stirrup, provided she's standing still and behaving herself. Lay over the saddle, and do all these kinds of things, and we're going to do it on both sides before you actually get on. And this is just preparing your horse to make sure that they're not going to freak out with the weight, they're not going to freak out with you putting your foot in the stirrup, all these kinds of things. So this is going to be our check-in before you start a horse. Now, again, she's pretty dull and she's had a rider on before, so we're not too concerned about her. But we're going to cover all of our bases and prepare you for your next one to train.
Okay.
So go ahead and I'll tip her head around a little bit. Ooh. 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 Good girl. Good girl. Good. Okay, when you're ready, go ahead and put your foot in the stirrup and hop up and down a little bit. Good. What a good girl. Okay, same thing again. This time, lay over the saddle and take your foot out while you're laying over. Good girl. Make sure you rub her around on the other side a little bit, because sometimes that can be a spooky thing for the horses too, to see you on both sides.
Good girl. Okay,
when you're ready, go ahead and slide down. And we'll do the same thing on the other side.
Good girl.
Ooh. Ooh. Good. Go ahead and lay over the saddle. Make sure you kick your foot out. Good.
Good girl.
And when you're ready, you can slide down.
And hopefully not lose that.
So when you got on bareback, did you get a leg up or did you get on from the fence?
I jumped up.
Oh, did you? You're athletic then.
Yeah.
Okay, so this time, go ahead and get on.
Okay.
Other foot.
Oh, yeah, I knew that. I was like, wait, what?
I just confused you. I tricked you by going on the other side.
haven't gotten on the other side in a really long time, actually.
Are those stirrups okay for you? We should have adjusted them before you got on.
Yeah, they feel fine.
Okay, go ahead and wiggle around a little bit. Move your stirrups around. Good. Good girl. Good job. Okay, now what I do is I call it the four corners, okay? When I first sit on a horse, before I walk off, whether it's a horse I know or a horse I don't, I check the four corners. So can I touch left shoulder, left hip, right hip without my horse moving? So go ahead, just pet her basically on each shoulder and hip. And part of that is you're moving around in the saddle, and you're moving your arms, you're moving your body, you're weight shifting, you're touching her, you're leaning forward, you're leaning back, and you should be able to have the freedom to do all of these things. Of course, there's a proper way to sit, but your horse shouldn't flip out if you veer from that.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
Good girl. Okay. So go ahead and pick up your reins. And you told me that when you sat on her bareback, you can get her to go forward, right?
No, she would not go forward.
Okay. So just hold your reins. You have them in case of emergency, basically. And I'm just going to go ahead and walk her around. And when you start a horse, you do it in stages. And so the first stage is handler, which would be me, is in control. You're just dead weight up there, okay? Then, then we start to transfer over, kind of an in-between stage where both of us give a cue. So I would give the cue to walk, and then you give the cue to walk at the same time. and so they start to associate your cue with what I'm asking, which is what she already knows. Then your third stage is where the handler is no longer necessary, or it's just there for a little bit of support, and the cues are all coming from the rider.
Yeah.
And, you know, since we're not totally starting her, since she's, you know, been ridden,
Yeah.
we're just going through the motions so that we make sure that there isn't any holes, and, you know, also for your learning.
Yeah.
Good girl. So what we're going to do is walk and stop, and you and I are going to give the cues at the same time, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and stop. We're both going to say whoa, and you're going to pick up your reins.
Okay.
Ready? And whoo.
Whoa.
Good girl.
Good girl.
And you don't be afraid to give a little bit of a tug on them, just so that she learns that when you give a tug on those reins, that means really to stop. We'd like her to stop without much pressure, but we want her to know if you're in an emergency and you pull up on those, we want her to know what that means. Okay? So now we're going to ask her to walk. So we'll give a verbal cue to walk and go ahead and squeeze her with your leg.
Okay.
Good.
Good girl.
Ready? We're going to stop. And whoa.
Whoa. Good girl.
Good girl. Okay, and we're going to walk. Good girl. Now we're going to change directions through the center, and I would actually go ahead and use 2 hands on the reins.
Okay.
And I want you to try to tip her nose to the right.
Okay.
So go ahead. And then as we approach this rail, tip her nose to the left. Good.
Good girl.
Stay up here. And we're going to stop.
Whoa.
Good girl. And walk. Good girl. And stop one more time.
Whoa.
Good girl. And walk. Good. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and stop her. I'm going to go into the middle, and I'm just back up. So I'm still holding the lead rope, so if she doesn't turn, when you ask her to turn, I can pull on her and say, yeah, you're turning. If she doesn't go forward for you, I can pick up the whip and say, yes, you're going forward. And, you know, all those sorts of things. But also, in the event that she was to take off or be stupid, I would have at least a chance of pulling her around.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're not completely out on your own. So, ideally, we want her listening to you, but I'm here for backup. So you're going to ask her to do something. If she doesn't respond to you within a reasonable amount of time, which is about 5 seconds or so, I'm going to ask her.
Okay.
So go ahead, ask her to walk forward. Good girl. And I may have to send her off a little bit just so she doesn't come and follow me.
Come on. Come on. Good girl. Good girl.
Now, whenever you're ready, not when she wants to, but when you want to, you can ask her to stop after we get her going forward again.
Come on. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
So your reins were a bit too long. See how you were pretty far back and it wasn't putting that much pressure on her still? So you pretty much had nowhere else to go because you're all the way back to your own body and it's still not really quite working. I had to intervene and give her a bump. So next time, before you ask her to stop, slide your hands down.
Okay.
Because by the time you get to your own body, you should have a ton of pressure on her. I mean, that's like emergency status. So you should be able to pick up here and puts enough pressure on her for her to stop. So next time, just slide your hands down the reins a little bit. So ask her to walk.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Good girl.
And when you're ready, ask her to stop.
Ooh.
Better that time. Good job. And ask her to walk.
Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go.
And try to keep your hand closed around the reins.
Okay.
There you go. The open finger technique is a really good way to break your hand. Okay, when you're ready, ask her to halt.
Oh.
Good, nicely done.
No.
And make sure that you tell her she's good when she goes forward and when she stops for you. Okay, so you're going to change directions through the center.
Okay.
I'm going to back up and you're going to turn her to the left towards me.
Okay.
Good. And when you get up to that rail, turn her right.
No. Good girl. No. Come on. Abrupt stop.
Yeah, she's still a little unsure.
Yeah.
Okay, when you're ready, ask her to halt. Remember to slide your hands down the reins before you do.
Ooh.
Good.
Good girl. Good job.
Okay, and when you're ready, ask her to walk.
Come on.
Keep your hands close around the reins. And when you're ready, ask her to stop again.
Ooh.
Good.
Come on. Come on. There you go.
Okay, change directions again. Turn her right towards the middle. Good.
Come on. Come on. Nope.
Keep asking her towards the right.
Okay. Come on. There you go. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go.
Good girl. Okay, change direction again. Turn right. Nope, turn right.
No, don't side pass.
Because if you turn left, not only would you be going the same direction, but
Oh wait, yeah, I
yeah,
was like
that's
trying
right.
to make her go.
But then you would have not had my help anymore because we would have lost the rope.
Yeah.
And change again.
Come on.
Good girl,
Girl.
much better. Good
Good
girl.
girl.
And left.
No. There you go.
Remember, keep your hand close around the reins. And change again. Good girl. And change again.
There you go. There you go. Nope.
Good. Okay, when you're ready, ask her to stop.
Whoa. Whoa.
Hold. Hold. Good. Nice timing on your release. Good job. Okay, walk on down the rail.
Come on. There you go. Girl.
And ask her to halt.
Whoa.
Good. That was very nice halt. Do you want to try trotting or do you want to just stay at a walk for now?
We could go and trot. I have
Okay.
no problem with that.
So, you haven't trotted her before though. Obviously, you couldn't get her walking. So, just in case, Your defensive position riding is actually not what most people think of, which is like a cutting or reining position like this. It's actually to bring your shoulders behind your hips. So can you lean back like that? Okay, that's your defensive position. So if your horse starts, if you're riding any horse and they start acting stupid, if you curl up, you're closer to the fetal position, which is you're going to fall down.
Yeah. And
So
hit your face on the horn.
exactly, yeah. So pull your shoulders back behind your hips. Try to keep your legs in position as best you can. And when you're right here, and it's very uncomfortable, you know, for your lower back, but that's your defensive position, okay? Because it keeps you out of the fetal position, which is always when you fall off, it's because you curl into the fetal position. So I'm still going to keep a hold of her. And you can put some leg on her too, but for the most part, it'll probably be me driving her on. If she trots a couple steps and then comes down, don't worry about getting after her. I'll just move her back up into the trot. We don't want it to be a stressful situation.
Yeah.
We just want to ease her up into it. If she breaks back and forth, it's not a big deal right now.
Yeah.
Good girl.
That was weird.
And you can choke up your reins. Good girl. Remember to keep your hands in a fist. You're all right. You're doing fine. Good girl. And see, for now, try to just sit the trot, because I think it confuses her a little bit. We'll get there, but for now, try to just sit it if you can.
Bouncy.
Is she bouncy?
Yeah, very bouncy.
A lot of times, horses that have had previous injuries, like she does on her hip, they've compensated so much that their tempo's not even, so they're very, very bouncy.
Yeah.
Keep your hands in a fist. I only nag you about that because I don't want you to not be able to ride because you're in a cast because you broke your fingers.
Yeah. So bouncy. I'm not supposed to. So we were trying to just sit it out on her. She's like, and then she runs into the panel.
So, and it may help your bounciness. You can put your hands on the pommel and use them to kind of push yourself back a little bit.
Okay.
Good girl. What
Really
a good
weird.
girl. Good job.
Good job.
She's stopping because you're bouncing. All right, we'll go the other way.
Just ride like this.
You can hold the reins.
I don't think I've ever rode with this. I feel like a kid. Oh my god, look at how fast!
Good girl. Okay, now that we've got a good trot going, now go ahead and post. But before, I think the movement was confusing her a bit because she kept coming down whenever you'd stand up. So I'll try to keep her going, but now that we've got her moving pretty good, make sure when you post that you're not bumping on her face.
And then she runs into the fence.
Okay, so did you see yourself come forward? That's when you fall off, and that's why she's a really good horse for you to start with, because instead of going, ooh, run, opportunity, and she dunks you on the ground on your head, she stops for you. So she's going to make a good kid's horse. Nobody asked you to back up. But this is something that we need to practice on with you, because your next horse may not be as forgiving.
Yeah.
So really work on keeping those shoulders back over your hips or behind them, and really sit that butt down in the saddle. Don't let yourself fall forward. And it takes time to build up that muscle, even when you're posting.
This is so, like, trying to think about that.
Good girl. You can go ahead and post now, and I'll try to keep her going. But don't let yourself fall forward. That was better that time that she stopped. Okay, one more time. Good girl.
It's hard to think of.
Good. I think you've just been spoiled with all these gaited horses around here. Okay, so let's do a little bit more turning. and see if we can, because she, you know, through the middle of your turn, she kind of wants to shut down a little bit still. So now that we've got more forward on her, let's see if we can get you doing some figure eights a little bit more smoothly. Even if it's not perfect, but just less shutting down. So ask her to walk, and I'm just going to be back up again.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
And just get her walking along the rail for a minute. When you're ready, turn her right down the center. Look up where you want to go.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Good. And then make sure once she goes forward that you release your leg. Good. And then turning left.
Come on.
And change again. Good girl. Good. That was much smoother. If we can get a turn that well on the other side, then we'll call it good for today. And turning again.
Good. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go. Good job. Come on.
And change again.
Come on. Job. Come on.
Good girl. Turning right.
Ooh. What are you doing?
Towards the rope. Towards me. And change again.
Come on.
Better. Good girl. Much
job.
better.
Come on. Petting does not mean stop.
Yeah. Okay, change again. Make sure you're looking where you want to go. Good girl. And change again. Let's get one really, really good one. Turn her left more. Oh, I'm sorry, right. You're right. See how you didn't give yourself enough room to turn? So I'm going to we'll send her off that way again, and we'll try to do that same turn again, but make her turn a little bit more into the center.
Come on.
So you actually give yourself room to turn instead of running into the fence. So change again, and this time really pull her over there. There you go.
Come on. There you go.
Good. And then turn left. Nicely done. Okay, ask her to stop.
Ooh.
Good girl.
Good job.
Good job. I think that was pretty good for today, huh?
Good. Yeah.
So I would, when you ride her, even if you don't want to have someone with the rope, I don't think that it's totally necessary because she's made it pretty clear that she doesn't plan on bucking you off.
Yeah.
But at least if you can have someone in the center with the whip, and the reason being because if you get on her and you put your leg on her and you ask her to go forward and you end up with this big old fight where she's just backing up, shutting down, stopping, that doesn't help anything.
Yeah.
You know, what you want is to have somebody that can back you up, that when you ask, she needs to respond within like 5-10 seconds, and if not, then they can come in and back it up. Otherwise, the more she practices doing it wrong, she's going to think that that's right. Okay, so we want to make it really clear to her that when you put that leg on, she needs to move forward.
Yeah.
So if you can at least have somebody back you up with the whip until when that person's just kind of standing in the center, not having to do anything, and you can get her to go forward, stop, and turn by yourself, then you don't need help anymore.
Okay.
So, and I think that she responds well enough with the halter that you should keep with that for this week if you could get at least a couple of rides on her. And then next week we'll plan on playing with the bit.
Okay.
And see how that goes. So I will hold her if you want to go ahead and jump off. And when you're starting a horse, you always keep in mind that the 2 times that you're the most vulnerable is mounting and dismounting.
Hey, you.
She did very good. Do you want this in here, or does it go out?
Yeah, I'd put it in the tack room. I was just already in here. I don't know why.
Hey.
Good girl. Gosh, she's bumpy. Hey, you.
Yeah, you were a good girl, huh? You did very good today.
That's a big spider.
And I think that any of those pads that are about that thickness but without the shims will probably work fine with her.
Okay. And I'll try and bring my saddle in.
Yeah.
For next time.
Yeah, and we can check that one out too.
Let's check that one out. What are you doing? Hey, you. Girl. Stop. Girl. Feeding time! I'm hungry, Mom!
She earned it too.
Yeah, she did. Trace. Oh, come on, Trace. Come on, bud. Come on. Good boy.